Hey guys, I'm back with another tier list. This time it's Code Vein 2 bosses tier list. Um, Before we begin, I'm just going to give some thoughts on how I felt about Code Vein 2 as a video game. Uh, Firstly, I want to say that it's an unoffensive game. Like people are crying wolf about like how bad this game is, but the way I see it is that like it's not that bad. Um, Now I will say that like the game isn't great. It never reaches any heights except for like 1 to 2 moments of like really good game design. But beyond that, it's mostly the same. I will talk about my biggest disappointments, but the biggest disappointments are like the reuse of enemies. That's a big, huge issue with this game. But once you get in the rhythm of the game, I don't really mind that much, except for Holly's side quest. Holly's side quests, you have to kill 4 of the same boss in a row, especially if you've like unlocked that much of Holly's stuff. So that one was absolutely awful. The other issue I have with the game is the how combo heavy the bosses are. Sometimes you just have to take hits because the game is trying to force you to use your partner revive, right? Uh, while on one hand this is smart game design because you're trying to take away a resource from the player and make them killable, but on the other it can create these really aggressively annoying situations and boss fights. It's not a problem if you're navigating the boss fight as you're supposed to, but the moment that like a knockdown situation happens, it can be annoying. And then there's also a couple boss fights uh where you just have to take the hit. You're just forced to take the hit because they're just trying to drain you of HP. I'm going to use a different tier list because I need one with better images because I can barely tell what any of these images are. But yeah, Code Vein 1, damn. Okay, I guess this is the only one. But yeah, that's how I felt about the game. Uh, the biggest win for this game is the music. The music is absolutely awesome and totally worth every bit of praise. And I low key think that the guy in this the composer for this game is low key being held back by the studio that he's working for because he keeps getting projects like this. They're like 7 out of 10s. Like I'd imagine he'd be a lot more well known if he was working on heavier projects. Anyways, let's get started on this tier list. This one, D tier. Okay, this is a reused enemy. Now, this is like the first boss that you fight in the game, but like as a Souls-like veteran, this is like some of the basic 101 content for Souls-likes, and I understand that Code Vein 2 is trying to be an easier approach to Souls-likes to get like a wider audience, but like this is one step too far. It's like you should be throwing these enemies at me quicker, so then I have to deal with them, you know? Okay, this guy is B tier. I never learned the name of this guy, but he's pretty fun to fight around, especially when you're lower level and don't have a lot of resources, because he's basically like a little normal human. But other than that, it's like a basic one-handed sword fight where you have to roll in. Okay, next, these two. Okay, these two are both going in the same tier because this this guy reeks of that issue of Code Vein 2 where the combo game is just super heavy and it just is really annoying, you know? And so he has AoE attacks that are very far reaching, and then he just constantly is attacking you. There's one attack that he does where he shoots forward and then he pulls the swords back, and it's like I feel like him shooting the swords forward should give me the opening to attack, but instead I have to dodge a follow-up attack as he pulls him back. But now some of you might say that, like, hey, if you're close to him, the pullback hit doesn't hit you. But, like, that's, like, barely even, like, that's, like, a meh answer, you know? I just feel like they should have designed this guy with, like, more windows of opportunities to hit him. Okay, next. This guy's just a reused enemy. I had no thoughts about this guy. Or at least I think it's a reused enemy. It looks like a reused enemy. Okay, next, the Metagen Horror. This is a great starting out boss. Now, in Code Vein 1, it was kind of infamous because its first boss was like a huge poison fuck, right? And it would give AoE poison, and you'd have to carry poison vaccines in order to fight him, and it was awful, right? This is that, but toned down a little bit, so it hits this nice middle ground of, like, easy to understand while also having, like, tricky parts to it. Because, like, if you get behind the boss, this also, like, prevents people from getting behind the boss, because it can only hit forwards, right? But if you get behind it, you're going to take the acid damage. So I think, like, this boss is, like, really well done. My only gripe is that this boss has a fireball attack, like a multi-hitting fireball attack, that if you get hit once, and it's really difficult to dodge, you can't, like, roll through it. You have to, like, sprint around. And I think, like, the projectiles in the game that are multi-hitting, like the not the ones that are, like, spread, are really annoying to deal with, and this is just another example of that. Okay, this is another reuse. I'm just gonna put all the reused ones in here. Let's see, are there any other ones? These guys are reused. These guys are reused. These guys are reused. These guys are reused. I just don't need to be talking about the reused enemies. Okay. Next, Holly Reaper. She's sorta fun to fight. My only gripe is that I feel like she just doesn't have enough health while you're fighting her. She does split into two, and I think if they wanted this fight to have a little bit more of a payoff, they should have raised the amount of HP that the second copy has, and then make it so that, like, Holly takes damage from the second copy, but it's, like, a reduced amount. I don't want to say it's perfect, though, because, like, it does have, like, a unique mechanic where it uses the environment, which is, like, something you don't see often in Souls-likes. She has, like, a big attack that will fill the entire arena, and you have to get up on, like, these platforms to dodge it. So that's really interesting. But other than that, I don't know. She just is kind of meh. The biggest issue is that, like, a lot of her attacks are really, really telegraphed. So it's pretty easy to play dodge react with her. So I'm just gonna put her at A tier. Okay, these slime guys. These guys are, like, the dragon. Like, they're not the dragons from Elden Ring, but they're, like, the smaller dragons, like the ones that will spit lava all over the arena. But they don't do that. They actually do a very worse job. I noticed when fighting this guy, if you just held the left side, facing left, the left side, his right side head, you could dodge most of his attacks easily, and you can just pump out damage, right? And so, just not very interesting because of that. And so you just... And he's not really a reuse boss, in my opinion, because he only appears as a boss twice, right? So I'm a little sick. I gotta blow my nose. Okay, France. France is, I'm going to put in B tier, because he's a big... When I first started playing, he's like the first major boss that you fight in the game, and he's very, very annoying to fight because he doesn't have a lot of safe windows, and like the moment I started this fight, I could tell that the input reading was on, right? And mind you, other Souls like saves input reading for like either the most hard bosses in their game, or very rarely input reading comes into effect, right? And it makes it so that like bosses are a little bit more satisfying and less about the inputs that you're doing, right? This list is actually missing a boss, I believe, so we'll talk about that boss when we get to it then. One didn't get all the endings, LMAO. Anyway, continuing with France, he just has barely any windows of opportunity to attack, and it's very frustrating. Especially because he has that stone AoE, and it just is like, it's a little bit overloaded. Like, another gripe that I have with him is that he has a shooting ranged attack, and if you are spaced away from him, like medium range, you will be standing right where the bullets spawn, and so you will just get hit. Another issue with France that I noticed compared to other characters is that this France, when he hits you, he knocks you up almost every single time, compared to other bosses where they don't knock up that often. And why that's important is because knock up hits take longer to recover than like non-knock up hits. So it just feels like you're constantly locked in his stun. Okay, Queen Imogen. Unfortunately, I had this fight spoiled for me because they reused the boss. It's very annoying that they reused this boss. So I'm just gonna put this boss in C tier. It has some interesting ideas, but they're really hoping to catch you on delays with this boss, and it doesn't really work out. Once you figure out that like side dodge left when the 3 gears come down, the fight's practically over. You side dodge left when the 3 gears come down, and then you watch for the delay. You get so much time just to whack her a bunch once you have things optimized on her, and it's just a little bit dumb. I do like that they gave her the big huge AoE attack. I actually think more bosses needed something like that, because I really like the bosses having like, let's go back to neutral, clean slate attack, and hers is done pretty well. But yeah, the issues is that like there's just not enough meat to this boss for it to be that compelling. Okay, Camillo. Camillo is an S tier boss. I'm saying S tier in terms of Code Vein 2. I wouldn't, if I had to set this up against other Souls-like bosses, it'd probably be like a upper B, a low A boss. But what's awesome about this boss is that the entire design of the boss feels very cohesive. Like, there's one combo string that he has where he goes 1, 2, and then the third hit is like kind of a fake out. It's like a very interesting idea. It still has the same trail attacks as the other attacks, but it's a fake out. So if you spend your roll dodging the third hit that's a fake out, you will get hit by the fourth hit, which I think was very interesting and cool. I do like that he's a raging monster. Like, he literally summons spikes from the ground to hit you, and it's fun to dodge that attack. And then he summons a big stone log to swing at you, and that's also fun to dodge and deal with. He also has like a tunnel attack that you have to dodge. And a lot of this fight is just raw reactions, and so that's what makes it really fun. Okay, Idris's Retainer. C tier. I did not like bottom of C tier. I did not like fighting this boss. I think the idea is that you had to change your build to fight the boss, but like that's weak shit, bro. I ain't gonna change my build. What the hell are you talking about? My issue with this boss is that you have to hit the tentacles and not the man, which, if they were like positioned in a better spot for me to continuously hit them, then I'd be okay with it. But it's pretty rare for you to get an opening. But anytime you get an opening, you're doing tons of damage. I would have preferred the tentacles to be in a better spot for me to hit, and the tentacles take less damage. because it would make engaging with the boss a lot less frustrating and add a little bit more depth. Um, I don't know. I liked his his attacks are all pretty fun. I'm also noticing that this list doesn't have Xenon on it. Oh, it has Xenon's here, but where is Xenon's spirit form? Or hero form? It is literally missing. Xenon's hero form is literally missing. This is an incomplete tier list. Did people just not get all the endings, bro? Anyway, we're gonna move on to Jose. This might be the best fight in the game because this is like one of the only fights that actually has all of the depth of using the Forma in the game, and while also being an interesting boss fight. Because she is blind, she does huge swings, huge arc swings. So you have to do a pretty good job of dodging the arc swings. And then you also have to, she does it occasionally. She does an attack that causes bind, and for those that don't know, bind makes it so that you can't move, right? And it basically guarantees her next attack to hit, right? So it creates this dichotomy of like bind. If you get bound, could be one shot, right? And in this case, I don't mind it. There's a lot of times in the game where you're going to get one shot, and it's frustrating. But this time, I don't mind it because like it's like a layered skill check. Like, did you dodge the bind? No, you know. My only gripe is that literally just shave off like 20 frames from the how long the AoE stays on the ground for. Because there are times, because the way I dodged it was I would use a jumping forma to be in the air and just completely evade it, right? And this worked out pretty well, but I had to time it pretty tightly, right? But if I mistimed it at the very end of the thing disappearing, I would get hit by the bind and then get one shot. But other than that, like I think she also has like some of the coolest boss music in the game. As well, and it's a little tragic what happens to her too. So it's all in all great boss. Holly, Hero Holly. This is the one that dances on ice. I'm gonna put this one in A tier, not because I think the mechanics are compelling, but because the animation work on this boss is cool and it's fun to look at. Like she's literally ice skating around the ring, and you're like dodging bullets and stuff like that, and it just is cool. The one thing that's unfortunate though is that the arena has like a ton of flowers in it, and it actually causes frame rate drops. Hopefully the patch will fix it. But this boss was really cool to fight just because of the way that she would move around. But yeah, that's that boss. Now we're going to move on to Lyle Hero version. We're going to put this one in B tier. This one this fight has an obvious visual clarity issue. If you're too close to him because of the way the walk on is, you literally won't be able to see his swings. It is very frustrating. Not to mention his boss arena, the way that the terrain moves around, because it's sort of like a hilly terrain. A lot of the times, you'll be at weird angles, and so again, it'll be very hard to see what's happening. So like, lots of times when I'm fighting this boss, I would just back off just to make sure I get visual clarity of what's happening. But other than that, his phase 2 animation is very, very cool. I like that he has the 2 double executioner swords, and they actually do multi-hit damage. I like that a lot. It actually creates this like cool metagame where like if you dodge roll like his big slam attacks in the center, they're easier to dodge because that's where he puts the one 2-handed sword in the middle that doesn't have multi-hit attacks. So that was cool. Oh wait, I just realized that Holly's other form is here, not there. But we'll just move this one down because we already ranked that fight. These are both the same fight, practically. Okay, now we're going to go to Hero Lyle. This one's cool, but it felt easy. I don't know what is with their scaling, but there was a mid game point where like my scaling was off the hook, and I was like just crushing the bosses, right? And I'm only putting it at A tier because this is one of the few bosses that has a clean arena. The attacks are nicely telegraphed while also having like interesting power up moves. He does still get the lightning attacks and stuff, but yeah. And then we're gonna put Hero Holly up here. Anyway, this one's an S tier fight. Like, it could be the best fight in the game. It's a duo fight. You fight the human leader and his lackey at the same time. One of them has a two-handed sword, the other one has a gun. Right? So the strategy here is to hit, they both share a health bar, so it doesn't matter who you hit. The strategy though is to make sure to hit the two-handed sword guy because the gun guy's attacks become more telegraphed the further away you are from him. So you want to just separate them and then fight the two-handed sword guy, right? And it becomes this really, really fun juggling dance between the two characters while also not being overwhelming. And what's even better is that once you get to phase 2, it becomes a solo fight. Now the solo fight is my only gripe with the solo fight is that occasionally he does this attack where he spawns 5 bullets right in front of him, and if you're standing right there, you get one shot. You are just dead, and it's a little frustrating because you've done all that work to get to phase 2, and then like you just are instantly dead. In my opinion, they should probably, I don't know, they should do something about the spawning of those bullets or something. But maybe spawn them above him or something, you know? But other than that, he also he applies a ailment on you called Lucas Rapason, and this makes it so that none of your healing works, which creates this cool metagame where you don't want to be up close to him all the time or else you'll get Rapason, while also juggling the fact that he's just a better character at longer range because he has a gun. But yeah, it was like I was really surprised with how good this fight was. I think it's like one of the few fights in the game where I literally like popped off when I beat him. Anyway, Jose round 2. This is just worse blind hero Jose. We're gonna put this at above Franz. Above. This is just worse blind hero Jose, but like this fight was pretty easy compared to the other one. She has like extra fire attacks, but the issue is that the rune blade attacks are way slower than her huge arc swings with the samurai sword, and it just creates a non-inventive fight. She does do the thing where she wants to reset to neutral and you have to like run away from her, but other than that, there's not much creativity going on here. Anyway, I'm gonna use this Xenon to represent Xenon's hero fight. I liked Xenon's hero fight just because of the visuals. There's a moment where like it looks like he's controlling the universe, and that's cool. And you have to dodge while he's controlling the universe, and it's very cool. Anything else? Okay, we're gonna use one of these as Valentin's original fight. like when you have to fight him at the end of the game, not when he's a monster. We're gonna use this one as that one. This one's like a B tier fight. Yeah, King of B tier. My issue with this fight is that it's he has the big AoE heal attack, and you have to dodge it in order to progress, or you just out heal him. I didn't collect all the regeneration beads, but you just have to like get out of range, or you have to like dodge it at the correct timing. And like dodging at the correct timing for this is a little hard because he does like a slow clap, and like the hit doesn't activate until the clap connects, right? So the telegraphing is a little bit wonky here for this attack. It's very weird because they fixed this in the final boss of the game. But yeah, other than that, he pull after you get him to 50% HP, he pulls out a second weapon, and the second weapon is such a nothing burger. In fact, I think it's detrimental to the boss's design because he has an attack where he summons the second weapon and he puts it in front of him, and it spins with like a laser in front of him. But if you stand right next to him, the laser can't hit you, so you just get like 10 seconds to just wail on him, right? And then after that, his posture is broken. Then you do a big combo to posture break, and then you do a critical attack, and it's like, this was such a nothing boss. Anyway, Valentin, final boss, literally bottom of C tier. My issue with this boss is that his melee attacks on the ground were so telegraphed and easy to dodge that it felt like I was sleeping at the wheel. He has one of the most egregious instant kill attacks in the game, and I think it was literally just put there to make sure that the boss felt a little harder. I don't know how you're supposed to dodge it, because like I tried several times. I think I got like a perfect dodge one time, but like the second shot of the attack like got me. Other than that, it was very easy to just go dodge, dodge, charge attack, dodge, dodge, charge attack, dodge, dodge, charge attack. And then he would like do a mask attack. And the mask attacks are pretty easy to dodge, except for when he goes up in the air and throws out projectiles. Those ones are kind of hard to dodge. But yeah, this was like just a complete disappointment for me. Like, absolutely utterly disappointing as a boss. He does have the heal attack that the original Valentin does, but the original Valentin, but it has a better timing to dodging it than the original Valentin. Anyways, let's talk about the Resurgence Core. We're gonna put this in. Add row below. Plagiarism. This is the first time I'm playing a Souls-like. I'm just gonna have this guy represent plagiarism. This is the first time I'm playing a Souls-like boss, and it feels plagiaristic because the Resurgence Core boss fight, straight up, just look up footage of this. He straight up has Malenia's spirit attack in the game. Like, what's up with that? The only thing that was interesting about this boss is that whenever he attacked, he would summon tentacles, and you have to dodge the tentacles. And I think that was kind of interesting. But then they just gave up on developing it and had him summon Malenia clones. I don't know. Could have had a cool boss, but not really. Very disappointing. They do give you like these really OP boosters, aka amulets, to fight this thing, and it's like it goes down easy. It's like insanely easy to kill. I unironically think I could have killed it without the boosters. But yeah, my other thoughts on the game is the writing is pretty solid as long as you're willing to give it a chance. The writing doesn't get good until about halfway, which is unfortunate. That's about 20 hours. But the moment that you start like changing the past and changing to get a better future, the game gets a lot better. It just takes a while to get there. Other than that, just had more enemies. I feel like this game could have been way better if they had more enemies. It definitely feels like this game was cut at the knees just to push it out to make sure that the studio had some cash flow coming in, which is unfortunate. I'm really hoping that they don't release DLC that's like the cut content. Although if they do, I'll be there. But my overall thoughts on the game are that it's unfortunate that we're back at the same stage as we were with Code Vein 1, where there are moments of brilliance in this game, while also having some of the most unfortunate choices ever. I was really hoping that they took Code Vein 1, took the criticism, and actually refined it to be a really good, solid game, but that just didn't happen. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope they update these tier lists to include all the bosses. It's weird that they don't have all the bosses on here. But yeah, ta-ta.